Hello, welcome to the workshop. My name is David Barnhart. Today we're going to be addressing some basics that some of you may need some help with. That being your right hand, your bow hand, and then your left hand, your fingering hand. So let's talk about the bow hand first, which is probably the most difficult hand to master in regard to the cello. So you want to start out when you're first starting to learn the bow hand with your hand flat and your fingers evenly spaced apart like that, but you're going to put it on its back so your palm is facing up. And then you're bringing the top of the turning screw, which is where you loosen and tighten the hair on the bow, here. So you're bringing the turning screw in to the top joint of your finger. These are all the top joints of your fingers here. The first lines you see there. And so you want to bring the turning screw in to the top joint of the finger. And then you want to lay it slowly across the top joints of your other fingers. And then you curl those in, and the thumb is going to lay naturally on its side, but you need to arch it, and that's very important. You need to arch your main knuckle here, your top knuckle right there, so that it's almost up against the horsehair. All right, so it should look like this, and when you go to flip it over, it looks like that. But your fingers are pronated towards the tip of the bow here. All right? Because of the arching of your thumb. You need that counteracting force, upward force against the gravity of the bow, which would drop, in which case you would drop the bow. But you need to have that counteracting force to prevent the bow from dropping out of your fingers. So that's the most important thing. And all the fingers are supporting the bow as well. But the thumb is the most important to keep it arched, to keep that upward force going. So now we move on to bowing. So when we're bowing, we want to start out this way, with the hand again pronated in this fashion, assuming everything is correct with the fingers. If you need to, you go back and you do it again. So you do it in this fashion. 1, this is step 2, and then this is step 3. Okay? So now, when we're doing a down bow, our forearm is also turning in as well because of the pronation of our fingers. So we're bowing this way on the A string side away from us, and then we have to, this is the trickiest part. Up bow is always tough because we have to make sure that the wrist is leading ahead of the fingers. So this is the engine of our bow arm. This is where all the mechanics come in. With the wrist leading the fingers in an up bow. Down bow is very natural, but up bow is not, because we're working against gravity. So we have to get that wrist involved first. And then we move on to the D string, which is probably the easiest string to learn on, and that's the string that most students start out on at first because it's level and easy to play. G, down bow, up bow. Again, engaging that wrist so that we make the wrist move ahead of the fingers. Another way to think about it is imagine somebody is poking you back here to get your wrist to move ahead. So it would be like that. To get the wrist to return to that pronated state here. Like so, okay? And then on the C string, you want to make sure that your left knee is low enough, or right knee is low enough to account for the bow, so that it doesn't run into your leg on the C string side. And you want to bring the bow down this way. Now, with my shoulder, it is always for the most part level, except when we get to the C string side. We just have to bring it up maybe just a slight bit, but also the elbow here, so that we can engage with the string, because the C string is the thickest string of all 4 strings on the cello. Okay, so this is the basic form of how this works. Here we come. We're moving in an arc. As you see, it's a very slight arc. So again, the A string we're pushing away, and the C string is into the body. But when we play on the bow, we're going in that direction. The A string is this direction, and then the arc is ever so slight like that. Okay, so we've talked about the right hand now. Let's talk about the left hand. So with the left hand, you want to start out, when you're first learning how to apply your left hand to the fingerboard, you want to start out on a level plane, an imaginary level plane. Just something where your shoulder is not raised again, but it's just very relaxed and natural. And you want to bend at the elbow and bring your hand in, but your hand, as you can see, is going to be pronated this way, to the right, because when we end up on the fingerboard, the fingers will be aligned, but pronating back, turning back towards the nut here at the top of the cello. All right? So we want to have the hand extended out, and then another important factor is that the thumb is between my second and third finger to keep the hand balanced. It is never back here, because if it is, the hand is not balanced correctly. So it must be placed between the second and third fingers to maintain proper intonation. So we should bring it in this way, and then the thumb just rests comfortably at the back of the neck here, between the second and third finger, and then our fingers again are pronated back this way, so that when we play G, for instance, on the D string with 4 fingers, it's in tune, and therefore it rings. Whereas if we did it the incorrect way, you could hear how flat it is and out of tune it is. So here, it's in tune. All right? So that's important for first position, and you'll find that as you explore the other positions, it is also very important to keep the thumb in the center of the hand, no matter what position you're in the lower positions of the cello. Okay? So I hope you found this video helpful. Please like and subscribe to the channel, as it will make us grow, and I appreciate you taking the time, all right, to listen. Thank you.